Hi everyone, today we are taking about freenbecky coming new series crnauim. Crnauim, a 16-seat charter plane heading to Paris, now a debris in the villagers' rice fields. Authorities assume the total casualties of 15 on board, including the pilot and crew. We are currently the anchorman's emotionless voice reported throw a microphone in front of the plane crash site. The site was barricaded for the investigation officers and the aviation safety officials tasked to discover the cause of this crash. Yet countless press outlets attempted to interrupt their workflow. The lady wearing a collared shirt, rolled sleeves and dark-colored pants, giving her an active impression. Yet her eyes looking through the rectangular eyeglasses were weary from traveling. She reached the site a few hours after receiving a direct call from her research advisor this morning. Busaya Bua found herself talking to the coordinator officer in. Just a second, let me check the list of names. Assigned. Bua acknowledged that and pushed the eyeglasses up on her nose before brushing off her shoulder-length curls obscuring her line of vision. I came in Professor Nisara's stead. The visitor added, handing her doctoral student card to identify herself. Her card hadn't yet been returned to her graduate colleague. The professor is working overseas. The officer responsible for the registered individuals looked at the paper again. Found it. Associate Professor, Dr. Nisara from Institution of Bioanthropology. The officer spotted Bua's name next to the advisor's. Yes, she's my advisor. Dr. Nisara is currently having a seminar in Panama. She asked me to come in her stead. All right, please sign your name here. We'll get an LL 148 identification card for you. She informed in a flat voice. Let me know if there's any problem or any additional equipment you need. Drive. Busaya. Requiring her signature. The coordinator officer handed her the document. Here. The young doctor handed back the paper. It's fine. Thank you for coming to our aid, the lady officer said. Please, the administrative center and your work tent are right this way. In the evening, the officer will take you to an accommodation we are preparing for you. It may be a bit of short notice tonight. Busaya made her way to the entrance of the incident scene. It had been about 20 hours now, after a small passenger plane crashed in a rice field, central province of the country. Initially, the 15 passengers including the pilot and crew were assumed death. However, a relentless search for survivors TL-48, she noticed the rescue dog zealously circling about the site. Firefighters in fluorescent orange uniforms positioned themselves in case the fire broke out again. About 4 hours earlier, Bua received a call from her advisor, Associate Professor, Dr. Nisara, to quickly arrive at the scene to assist the police in identifying individuals. Verifying or identifying the person's identity was one of the jobs in anthropology field. Namely, it was a work in the field of forensic anthropology, usually carried out by a forensic expert or identity verification expert. This anthropology study examined the history of humans from prehistoric times, including our ancestors or close relatives like primates, mammals and possibly other animals in order to study the evolutionary duties with no survivor found thus far. It was such a heart-wrenching moment. The other young policeman led her to a tent which Bua supposed was her work tent. Appreciate your presence. This evening, there'll be a briefing with all the departments. Please feel free to start your work. You're welcome. Busaya scanned the tent with 6 stainless steel autopsy tables arranged in it. She had no idea how many others were invited to work alongside her. The expert in physical anthropology and forensic anthropology were quite a rare find. Maybe it was just her. She wasn't an expert, far from it. Even much further compared to her advisor, Drive. Nisara. The academic journals today. Professor was highly regarded in this industry. She been through all sorts of fieldworks, assisted with various units in forensic anthropology both inbound and over 10 other countries, not to mention her academic projects. Despite this rare field of work, more than 30 works by the professor were published in industry. She was acknowledged as the top tier in the her to adjust. And Bua, she was a PhD student. In fact, she graduated about 3 months ago with an approval of graduation from the graduate school with the dean's signature prominent on her dissertation. She was officially recognized as a PhD, but it took some time for this is the period during which she catches her breath after over 5 years of arduous effort and stressful studies, before she assumes the role at the research institute established by the